Hi everyone and welcome back. So today I thought I would film the makeup that I've been wearing every single day recently, and I would kind of call this my go-to summertime makeup at the moment. It's honestly what I've just been gravitating towards. I haven't changed my eyeshadow really. Maybe if I was filming a video I might have worn something different, and I've been going between a different few eyeshadows, but generally on a day-to-day basis this is all of the makeup that I've been wearing, and I just thought I'd sit here and film it for you. So I'm going to start with one of my simple cleansing facial wipes. As always, I just use these to kind of freshen up my skin in the morning before I'm doing my makeup. Then I'm going to go in with some of my Origins Ginseng Eye Cream just to brighten up under my eyes. I'm trying to get into the habit of using this because I feel like when October comes around I am definitely going to need eye cream. So in the morning I just find this really brightens under my eyes, and it feels really fresh, and it's just like I don't tend to do too many steps in my morning skincare routine. Sometimes it's literally wash my face in the shower, eye cream, moisturiser, that's it. I don't know if my chip nail will pick up on camera, but I'm getting them done this week and I lasted so well with it. You know when you go like the full time and nothing breaks, and then literally a few days before you're about to get them done, chip one. Really annoying. And for moisturiser, I've been using this day and night recently. I have harped on about this in the past. It's honestly my favourite moisturiser I think of all time, and it's the Embryolisse Lay Cream Concentrate. I have gone back to this recently because it's great for all skin types. It can be used as a moisturiser, a makeup primer, or you can leave it on like really long and use it as kind of like a moisturising mask. It is so hydrating. I love it under makeup. I love it at night. If I've had kind of like a few days or weeks where I've not done much skincare, and then I go back to this, I just feel like it fixes my skin. Like it gets it back from being kind of really dry to just a normal level of hydration. I know skin is always drier than it should be, I suppose. It just works so beautifully, and it's just really non-offensive. It does the job, and I've been using it, as I say, morning and night. I find that it really works on a makeup because it leaves the skin to that right level of tackiness where it's not really greasy, so you don't feel like your foundation is going to slip off, but it's got something to grip to. If it looks like I've moved slightly, it's because I have. The camera just ran out of battery. Always happens when I just start filming. I'm going to zoom you in to do everything else because I just feel like you'll be able to see everything a lot better. This top, by the way, is from Primark. I'm not sure if they'll still have it in. It was probably a couple of months ago now. I did feature in a haul video, I think. Don't be fooled. I have the top button fastened, nothing else. It's a 14 and it ain't going over the bump, but it's a really pretty blouse, but I can't show it you because I'll have to show you everything. I just feel like this is very close for comfort, but we need it, don't we? So you can see what I'm doing. I'm taking my MAC Painterly Paint Pot, as always, as my eyeshadow base. I have not found an eyeshadow base that I prefer to these paint pots ever. So I'm just going to keep going with what I know and just kind of whack this on. They also last forever. I use it every single day. I never, unless I'm literally running out of the house for maybe, I don't know, a little while and I don't have any time and I can't be bothered faffing, 99% of the time I use this and they last forever. For eyeshadow, I'm going to dip into my Makeup Geek quad, which I'm sure, it's not a quad, there's 9 in there, but it's square and I always want to call it a quad. I'm sure a lot of you are sick of me using these now, but they're just so cheap and they're what I use every day. Why is this, I've just changed the battery, why does it say it's low? Shit. I seem to be having a nightmare. I've just changed the battery and it says that it's flashing low already. I bought like cheap kind of like extras from the Canon. I only have one actual Canon battery, so I've just kind of panic ordered a 30 quid Canon battery so that I've got 2 proper Canon batteries to go between, because the cheap ones just don't work as well at all. So for my eyeshadow, I'm going to dip into Poppy, which is a Makeup Geek eyeshadow. I know I use these all the time, but honestly they're so affordable, they work so well, and this is just what I use. So I literally I mean, I'm sure you're all used to me doing my eyeshadow by now, but I pop this on so slap-handedly. Slap-handedly, is that the phrase? Because normally, recently, I've been trying to do my makeup so quickly. I just don't like spending, unless I've got something to go to and I've got a little bit of extra time and I can kind of chill out and do it, I just kind of whack it on. And these eyeshadows blend out so well and so easily that you can kind of get away with it. You don't really have to spend too much time on them. So as you can see, this is kind of like a really gorgeous reddish orange colour, and it just, for the summertime, it just looks so fresh and kind of really nice if you're going for like that bronzed makeup look. And I just keep adding it until I'm happy with it. I might go back in at the end and just trying to make sure that it's as blended as possible. I'll zoom you in even closer for my eyes, shall I? I'm gonna have to just work with this battery while it's flashing at me and then wait for my other Canon one to charge and then come back in a bit. So hopefully I'll get my eyes done for you all. I mean, you won't see that any time has passed because that's the magic of editing, but obviously I will have to go and find another job to do or something to amuse myself while the battery's charging. Okay, we are back in business. I just had to have about an hour and a half's break because the battery ran out, so I was waiting for that to charge. So I'm doing a blog post. It'll be up today when this video goes up on Sunday, and I'm doing like a let me start my eyeshadow and then I can tell you. So I'm going to use this gold eyeshadow here by Makeup Geek, and it's called Glamorous, and it's just like a really bold orange. It reminds me a lot of Amber Lights from MAC, and I just literally whack this on all over my eyelid. So I've just been writing a blog post and it's my top 10 high street picks, and I'm doing dresses for this one. And I just thought, I've just written down about 20 ideas for blog posts because I really want to start writing blog posts again. I just feel like I've got a lot to say, and not all of it comes across well on camera or as a video, especially if I'm doing like a top 10 type thing. So I want to do kind of a, I don't know, like a top 10 things that I learned in early pregnancy and stuff like that, and I couldn't really sit here and list those off. So anyway, so I thought I'd start with dresses, and I've actually really enjoyed just having a little mooch on the internet, oh crikey, and just popping that together for you all. So let me know if that's something that you'd like to see me do more often. It's just a bit different from hauls, because a lot of the times by the time that I get a haul up, the stuff's sold out anyway, and that really annoys me when I see that happen. So I just thought I'd see how it went down. So I'm just taking that original brush and like blending the two together, but not really very precisely. I've just gone a bit crazy on Instagram stories as well with like some of my favourite music from like times gone by, and then I wrote, had a crunchy and a brew, and I wrote some blog post ideas down. So I've been quite productive really. It's Sunday today as I'm filming this, and I didn't want to leave it, I hate leaving it to the day that the video goes up because we've had all this work being done on the house. It's just impossible for me to do it during the week. So I thought I'm going to film to you today, and then I've had all this malarkey going on with these batteries, so it's ended up being quite late in the end. Anyway, my base at the moment, I've been using the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better. It's got 50 plus SPF in it, and it's a colour correcting full coverage cream. I had resisted buying this for ages and then bought it, and it's honestly what I've been using every single day. Like, I've not had it this long, I've not gone through a face product this quickly, and it's not because I use a lot of it, it's just because I use it every single day. And I'll either use it on its own, I'm going to use it on its own today so that you can firstly, so you can see what it looks like on its own as a base, and secondly because it's a little bit excessive to mix it in with other foundations if you don't need to, and if you want something that's a little bit of a lighter base than a heavier base, although it does give really good coverage, but you'll see as it goes on. And I'm using the Beauty Blender to pop that on because it's what I always use. But yeah, I really like this on its own or mixed in with other foundations. I've been mixing it in with the Too Faced Born This Way and also the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, just because then I don't need to use as much of the Giorgio Armani one because it's very expensive, but also because I'd seen quite a lot of people say that that made like a really good combination, so I wanted to try it out, and I do really like it. So I just bob this on everywhere and it just evens everything out. I wear the shade Light. There aren't that many shades in it, that's one of the downsides I would say, but I wore it all the time on holiday if we were going out in the evenings, and then during the day it just makes your skin look really fresh. And I've really not been enjoying that whole caked on foundation look recently. I used to wear such full coverage foundation, but recently I haven't minded if like my skin's shown through, and then I just think with like bronzer on and stuff for the summertime and then a bit of highlight, you don't want like a really thick base, or I don't anyway really. And this has just been so nice. I also have the NARS Velvet Skin Tint, is that what it's called? And I don't like it as half as much. I think it looks really dry after a while. I'm still using it, and I do like it. It's a tinted moisturiser, but compared to this, I just feel like, I don't know if you can see that it's just evened everything out. You don't have to be too precise because it's not too thick. I just really, really like it, and it's something that in a long time I haven't found a base product that I want to repurchase straight away, and it's now available in Boots, so you still need to be able to buy it from the It Cosmetics website for a long time, and now it's available in Boots, so you can use your jolly old Boots points, because I think it's about £30, but it's so, so good, honestly. It's as good as everyone says. Then I'm going to go in with my Soap & Glory Archery Brow, because I just always go back to this. I haven't found anything that I like as much. I just can't warrant spending however much money on like the Charlotte Tilbury one or the Hourglass one, the Tom Ford one that everyone raves about. But I just can't bring myself to do it. I did like the NYX one for a time, but I just find it's not like the perfect colour for my eyebrows, whereas this is like a really, really good match. And then I was using the L'Oreal Brow Artist pencil, I think it was called, and it started to, do you remember when it was turning my eyebrows purple? So I stopped using that because I don't know whether I just had like a dodgy one or whether it was pregnancy hormones or what, but nothing else has done it. It was only that pencil, so I obviously stopped using that because it wasn't a very good look. I've spoken to Tommy. He works 8 till 4 on a Sunday. He's actually been given different hours at the gym. When I say given, obviously he's like one of the shareholders, so he has a little bit of a say, but he was working from like 6 AM most days till 10 PM some nights, 8 PM, 7 PM, and he just was never at home. He was always there, and it was killing him, to be honest. So they've come up with like a new system, and he now gets 2 days off a week. So he's off Fridays and Saturdays at the moment, and this was the first week where he had those days off, and it was just so nice. It was nice for him to be able to actually have a lie in. Like I was up and awake and like tottering around trying not to make any noise. But it was just nice to have him here and be able to get some stuff done, because when his hours were different every single day. It's just hard to like make progress with anything. But he's done 2 coats in the nursery now. And he's coming home this afternoon and he wants to do the ceiling. It was already all white. Oh no, I think it was like a magnolia colour in there. And we've painted everything white. And then I'm just going to add like accessories here and there. And we want to go to IKEA this week and get some of his furniture. So we've already got the cot, but we're getting the wardrobe and the chest of drawers from IKEA, so that then we can build them at the weekend. So it's all go. And we're making good progress, but it was just really nice to have him home for those couple of days and actually it feel like he had a bit of a weekend. Then I'm taking the Glossier Boy Brow. This is the non-tinted one. I think this is the clear one. It just is a funny colour because I've used it so often. It's almost out, I think. Just to set those in place. I much prefer the tinted one. I think it does a lot more. I mean, this one, they don't budge, but I think the tinted one's really good because when I have my eyebrows done, which they are in need, I can get away with that and not fill them in with anything else. For concealer, I've been going between 2. I've been using the Glossier one, and this is really, really lovely. I wear the shade Light. The only thing is it's a very, very wet consistency, and as of yet I've not found a powder that doesn't set it in place all day. Or that does set it in place all day even. If you've used this and you've got like a good combination with this and a powder, please let me know, because everything that I've tried, even their powder, it just doesn't, I get to the end of the day and my eyes are black underneath it and it's completely come away. And I think it is because it's quite a wet formula. It might be better not to set it. I haven't tried that actually. But I've been using that on days where I literally want very, very minimal makeup. You can build the coverage up. It does work really, really well, but it comes away. So if I'm nipping out for a little while, then I'll use that one because I know that it doesn't last that long. The other one is the NARS, is it the Soft Matte Concealer? And I've got the shade Light 2 Vanilla, and it's another pot concealer. And I just take this. This is a little bit of a heavier coverage and it's also drier. So I just take this. I wore this on holiday because I knew that it was going to obviously be hot. A drier concealer like that Glossier one would have just melted. Whereas this one, because it's a drier consistency, it works better in the heat. That's probably another reason why that Glossier one hasn't been working so well recently, because it's been so warm here, hasn't it? but this one I just find, I've not even been using my Tarte Shape Tape. It works really, really beautifully, and I don't find that it creases. It's a nice coverage. It still looks quite natural. It doesn't look really, really cakey, whereas I think the Tarte one, even if you use the most minimal amount, it can look like you're wearing a lot of concealer under your eyes. So the powder that I've been using has been the Wowder powder from Glossier, and I love this. If you want a loose powder, buy this one. It works really beautifully. It doesn't take any of the like glow away from the skin. You still look like you've got that little bit of a glow. I don't know if you can see the puff of powder that's just come out there, but my favourite thing about this is the packaging. It doesn't spill anywhere. It is the best loose powder packaging I've ever used. There's like a little mesh bit that you just pop your brush in, and I've been a little bit excessive recently and I've really been enjoying taking a little brush. This is the Real Techniques BO2, and just using that to set under my eyes, because I just find those big powder brushes just doesn't do it. And I don't kind of like spend ages doing this, I just literally bob it on, but I've just found it's really helped keep this in place. And then all I do is just take a bigger brush. This is the Morphe G7, one of my favourite powder brushes, and get some on the brush. Sometimes you have to tap it out because it kind of gets lodged in the mesh bit, but for the most part it works really, really well. And then I just take it just to take away a little tiny bit of shine, but just mainly to set that base in place. Don't be fooled by these makeup brushes. They work, well, this one was clean before I just used it, but they are all clean. I cleaned them all yesterday, but I hadn't cleaned them in 2 months more. They were all pretty gross. You know, when you go through every single makeup brush that you've possibly got, even the ones that you really don't like using, and it gets to that point where they're all absolutely caked with makeup and they don't apply product the way that they should because they're so caked in makeup, it got to that stage. It was pretty disgusting. Shouldn't really admit these things, should I? Okay, so I'm going to take the Becca Capri Coat. So next I'm going to use the Becca Sunlit Bronzer. No one ever do that next. Then I'm going to go back to my eyes and I'm going to take that Glamorous, the gold colour, and just take that all the way underneath. Sometimes I take a bit of the orange colour as well. I think I will today. Just on the outer corners to blend it out a little bit. Then for bronzer, I've been using the Becca Sunlit Bronzer in Capri Coast, and recently I realised I've been using the Hourglass bronzer, and then this one. The more affordable option that I really do like is the Physicians Formula one, but there isn't really one at the drugstore or like the high street that's a lower price that I've really gotten on with recently. If any of you can recommend one, then let me know. I know the Soap and Glory one is quite popular and I used to use that, but I just don't find it as good as these ones. And as always, I'm using the Zoeva 90 Luxe Grand Powder Brush because it's my favourite one for bronzer. This is a beautiful bronzer. They do different shades in it. I think this is one of the lightest shades. It's got a little bit of shimmer to it, but it's not overly obvious. And for this kind of time of year when you just want to look a little bit sun-kissed, it works really nicely. I don't bother with contour. I literally just whack it on the tops of my cheeks there and hope it looks all right, I guess. Always go on the top of my forehead just to make people think that I'm a lot more tanned than I actually am. I was using Gradual Tan for a while and then I just got lazy and I just can't be bothered. I go through stages of using it religiously and really appreciating it and then just not being bothered. Still using the Tarte Captivating 12-Hour Amazonian Clay Blusher. It's just my favourite thing to use and it looks like I've hardly used any of it and I use it every single day. They're a little bit pricier again, but really, really worth it. And I'll just make myself look a little bit healthy. The brush that I just used for my blusher was the Morphe M530 brush. And this one is the Morphe R36 brush. I'm going to use that for highlight. And I'm going to use the Becca Opal Shimmering Skin Perfector. I had the mini in this and I caved and bought the full size because it's my favourite highlighter. As well as the Jouer Citrine highlighter. But this one I just feel like is a little bit more versatile, and also my Jouer one, the packaging, everything in it is cracked and it's a nightmare. And since I'm filming on my bed today and I only changed the sheets yesterday, I didn't fancy getting highlighter everywhere, so I thought I would use this one. But this is the one that I've been using anyway. And then I always put a little bit here. For mascara, I'm using the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes. I do really like this. It's a really nice kind of like everyday mascara, but It's a little bit more expensive than your average kind of like L'Oreal one, and you know the one that's, who is it that does the one that's the dupe for Roller Lash? Is it Maybelline? Like this is no better, and it's a lot more expensive. I look like I've got a really hairy chin, but it's a brush hair. Yeah, it's okay. I used to love this back in the day when it was really hyped up, and that's why I repurchased it. I think there was an offer on Tarte, but I probably wouldn't buy it again over like using a L'Oreal one, because I don't really feel like it does that much. My favourite one to spend more money on would be the Lancome Monsieur Big, if you're after a new mascara. And then I don't normally tend to put it on my bottom lashes because I'm always really worried, unless I'm going out for like a special occasion. That made it sound like I go clubbing then. I haven't been clubbing in blooming years. But even when I did, I never went clubbing. I might have gone into one for like half an hour just to show my face and then left. Anyway, yeah, I'm always petrified that it's gonna like smudge under my eyes and make me look even more tired than I already do. So I don't really tend to put it on my bottom lashes, but it does work quite well for the bottom lashes, this mascara. And then last but not least, we've got lips to do. So I'm gonna use, I was using that Maybelline Tora. It's the Gigi Hadid collab with Maybelline. And I was using it in the shade Tora in like a lot of videos, and I was mentioning it all the time. I think it was limited edition and it's now longer available. So I'm going to stop talking about that. One that is literally the same colour but a little bit pricier, but my favourite one is the Charlotte Tilbury in Iconic Nude, is it? The lip cheat? Yep, Iconic Nude. It's so good, and I used to really like this all over the lips. I did that for a long time, but I've just been kind of using it to outline my lips recently. I do this just to give them a little bit of shape, and so that they don't get lost in the lipstick. I feel like when I'm just using a lipstick, if I don't use a lip liner, they can look a little bit lost, whereas this gives them that little bit of shape. I'm not overdrawing them or anything like that. And then the lipstick that I've been using every single day is a MAC one. It's a satin finish and it's in the shade Spirit, and it's just this really gorgeous brownie nude shade, which is all I ever seem to use, but it's a little bit darker than like a nude, you'll see anyway, and I really like it. This is definitely going to be in my favourites this month because I've used it non-stop. That's it. That's how I've been wearing my makeup every single day. I really hope you enjoyed this. I'm sorry if it was a little bit chatty. I seem to, because I've not uploaded, I feel like in a long time, I feel like I've really missed you all and I just want to like blab on. I'm thinking of maybe starting the weekly vlogs again, perhaps tomorrow, so it would mean that next week there would be a weekly vlog. Please let me know if that's something that you would be interested in. Go easy on me this week. It's kind of like a bit of a normal-ish week. I just got really unconfident with it because I just felt like I was doing the same thing day in, day out. It felt like it was all very, very samey, but obviously now that I'm pregnant and we'll almost be at 29 weeks, I've got that aspect of it as well, and I just feel like because I've not uploaded a weekly vlog in ages, I probably do have a lot to tell you all. So let me know. I'm gonna go. I hope you enjoy this. I've got to edit this before Tommy gets home. We're having a roast dinner tonight, which I'm very excited for. We've not had one in ages, and it's Sunday, so it feels like the best day to have a roast dinner. I hope you've all had a lovely weekend, and I will see you all very soon. Thank you for watching.